Uncanny valley. There's a specific kind of discomfort you get when something looks almost human, but not quite. A CGI character in a movie that's realistic, but something about the eyes feels wrong. A humanoid robot that moves slightly too smoothly or slightly too stiffly. A wax figure of a celebrity that looks exactly like them, but somehow makes your skin crawl. This is called the uncanny valley. The name comes from the idea that as something becomes more human-like, your comfort with it generally increases, right up until it gets very close to human, and then suddenly your reaction drops off a cliff into unease. It's a valley on a graph between clearly not human and actually human, and things that fall into it trigger a deep, instinctive wrongness. The leading explanation is that your brain is pattern matching constantly, and something that's close but not right triggers a mismatch alarm. It also may have evolutionary roots. Humans learn to detect subtle signs of illness, injury, or deception in other humans, and something that looks almost but not quite right activates that ancient warning system. Your brain can't figure out what it's looking at, and that uncertainty reads as threat. Déjà vu. You're somewhere you've never been before. A new city, a first conversation, a situation you definitely haven't experienced. But there's this feeling, this sense that this exact moment has happened before. You can't say when, you just feel sure about it. That's déjà vu, French for already seen, and almost everyone has had it. The most accepted explanation is a misfiring in memory processing. Your brain has two systems that normally work in sync, one that handles new experiences, one that handles memory retrieval. Sometimes the memory system fires when it shouldn't, and labels a completely new moment as something familiar. The experience is new. The feeling of recognition is a mistake. And then there's the flip side, which almost nobody's heard of. Jamais vu, French for never seen. It's when something you know completely well suddenly feels totally unfamiliar. A word you've written your whole life looks like it's spelled wrong. A route you've driven 100 times feels like somewhere you've never been. It's the same glitch, just in reverse. Your brain calling something familiar new instead of something new familiar. The Mandela Effect. A lot of people have a clear memory of Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. The problem is, it never happened. He was released in 1990 and died in 2013 as a former president. And yet the memory feels real to a surprising number of people. This is the Mandela Effect, when large groups of people share the same false memory. The Monopoly man having a monocle. The line being mirror, mirror on the wall, when it was always
magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Or when Pikachu never ever had a black tip on his tail. Countless people remember these things the wrong way and remember them confidently. The explanation isn't parallel universes, it's just how memory works. Your brain doesn't record events like a camera. It reconstructs them, filling in gaps using logic and expectation. The Monopoly man wears a top hat and a suit, so of course he has a monocle. That's what that type of character looks like, except he doesn't. The expectation was so strong that millions of brains filled it in the same way, and now millions of people have the same wrong memory. Shared false memories aren't proof of alternate timelines. They're proof that everyone's memory is less reliable than they think. Derealization. You're going about your day, and then, out of nowhere, reality feels slightly wrong. Not in any way you can point to. Everything looks the same, but it feels like you're watching your life through a pane of glass. Like the world around you is a very convincing set, and you're not entirely sure you're actually in it. It's like you've suddenly entered a dream in which you're slightly conscious. This is derealization, and it's more common than most people realize. It usually shows up during periods of stress, exhaustion, or anxiety, and can last anywhere from a few seconds to several hours. There's another version called depersonalization, where instead of the world feeling unreal, you feel unreal. Like you're watching yourself from outside your own body, yet you feel like a stranger to this body and mind. Both are generally the brain's stress response doing something unhelpful. When things feel overwhelming, the brain sometimes dials down the intensity of your experience as a kind of buffer. The side effect is that everything feels slightly fake. You're both numbed and slightly panicked. It's really weird and not pleasant at all. It passes on its own for most people, and knowing what it is makes it considerably less frightening when it shows up. Sleep paralysis. You wake up, or you think you do. You're conscious, you can see your room, you know exactly where you are, but you can't move, not a finger. And sometimes there's something in the room with you. A shadow, a figure, a presence somewhere at the edge of your vision, and you still can't move. Sleep paralysis has been reported across every culture in history. Before anyone understood it, people called it demons, witches, a supernatural visitor sitting on your chest. The Old English name was the hag. Across thousands of years and dozens of cultures, the descriptions are almost identical. A dark figure, a weight on the chest, something watching. What's actually happening is a timing error. During REM sleep, your brain paralyzes your body so you don't act out your dreams. Normally, this switches off the moment you wake up. In sleep paralysis, the paralysis lingers after your consciousness returns. You're awake, but your body is still in sleep mode. The figures are hallucinations, your brain still half in a dream state, generating images that bleed into waking. It's not a ghost. It's your brain caught between two states at once.